Kwe, and welcome to the 2022 Powwow Pitch semifinals, presented by RBC, Shopify, Meta, and MasterCard. Sunshine Tanasco Indigenous, and I'm the founder of Powwow Pitch. I'll be your host for tonight's Powwow Pitch nonprofit semifinal, where Indigenous entrepreneurs from across Turtle Island will pitch for their chance to be named the nonprofit category winner for Powwow Pitch. The winner from the nonprofit category will win $1,000 cash and advance to the finals, where we will be giving away a total of $50,000 in cash prizes to help Indigenous entrepreneurs scale up their businesses. Thank you for joining us. 8 years ago today, I started Powwow Pitch with the vision of combining Indigenous culture and social innovation to create a platform to celebrate, showcase, and spotlight Canada's Indigenous entrepreneurs. Over the years, Powwow Pitch has supported more than 1,000 Indigenous entrepreneurs to take their businesses to the next level. And this week, we will support 130 more. 2022 has already been a landmark year for Powwow Pitch as we welcome incredible partners to the Powwow Pitch family, partners that share our values. Thank you to our presenting sponsors, our silver sponsors, our seed sponsors, and our collaborating partners. With their support, we have unlocked new opportunities for Indigenous entrepreneurs and grown our prize and grant pools to more than $200,000. This summer, 2,400 Indigenous entrepreneurs pitched live at powwows and submitted their video pitches across Turtle Island from nations like the Salish, Inuit, Métis, Cree, Ojibwe, Anishinaabe, Mi'kmaq, and Navajo. We shortlisted the top entrepreneurs from each category and matched them with outstanding mentors in the lead up to this week's semifinals. Every night this week, you'll have the chance to watch Powwow Pitch semifinalists pitch to our esteemed panel of judges as they compete for a place in the Powwow Pitch finals taking place on October 19th. The prizes include $1,000 for the winner of each category, a $1,000 for the People's Choice Prize, a $5,000 alumni prize, $5,000 for third place, $10,000 for second place, and $25,000 for first place. Each semifinalist has 1 minute for their pitch, followed by 2 minutes of Q&A by the judges. Judges are evaluating the entrepreneur's presentation, execution, and follow-through, and the impact winning Powwow Pitch and the $25,000 would have on their business. Join the conversation online tonight using the hashtag Powwow Pitch. Let's begin by meeting tonight's esteemed panel of judges. Joining us this evening is Tamer Gabor, Senior Commercial Account Manager, Not-for-Profit Markets at RBC Royal Bank. Debbie Reed, Indigenous Policy Manager at Meta. Carrie Calder, Program Lead for North America and APAC regions at Shopify. Angus Fudge, Strategy Director at MasterCard. Spencer Colligan, Senior Manager, Brand and Communications at Sierra. It's time to meet the nonprofit semifinalists. Let's get started.
Did you know that approximately 50% of Indigenous youth in grade 12 will not graduate this year, and that Manitoba has among the lowest literacy and numeracy rates in Canada? My name is Janna Fowles-Joseph. I'm a teacher turned homeschooling mother. I'm a proud Métis woman, and I live in Winnipeg, on Treaty 1 territory and the heart of the Métis Nation. Release the Knowledge creates educational products and services for teachers and homeschooling families in Manitoba with a future goal of expanding from coast to coast to coast. Our products soar above current curriculum standards in the province. By incorporating Indigenous perspectives, oral stories, traditions, and culture into our products, Indigenous youth can connect to what they are learning, resulting in academic success and higher graduation rates. Education is our new buffalo. Winning the grand prize of $25,000 would provide the kickstart desperately needed to expand my available products and services, purchase video recording equipment, and a smart board, as well as boost my marketing, branding, and social media presence, which will generate revenue so that I can hire more Indigenous youth and elders. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity.
Thank you very much. You're definitely right. I come from Skyline First Nation, so I know what you're talking about. What are your funding sources right now?
I don't have any funding sources right now, just self-funded.
Thank you for such a great pitch and awesome job representing the Métis Nation as well. I want to ask more about the youth and elders that you want to bring in on your team. What's going to be your approach to bring the right team around you to support you to the next level?
I think it's important to bring in youth and elders that are Indigenous instead of what I found was a lot of people using Google to incorporate Indigenous perspectives into curriculum when I was in the schools. So bringing them in and reaching out to the communities within Manitoba is my first goal, and then reaching out to communities all across the country, because our Indigenous cultures are different from community to community, and I think that the stories are very important to bring in from all of our Indigenous communities.
Thank you.
Thank you for the pitch, Janna. Could you tell us more about how you're marketing your services now and how you expect that to change as you scale?
Yes, so right now I'm using Facebook ads, social media, and my website. In the future, I want to attend educational conferences and events, and as well as attend different, my apologies. Yes, educational conferences and events.
Great presentation, Janna. I'm just wondering, what size, how big is your team right now, and how do you plan to grow it if you were to win the money?
It's myself and one other Indigenous teacher right now that are creating the curriculum units. Because it's self-funded, so I do work full-time because the business doesn't support my living expenses right now. It's a very, very new startup. Oops.
Great job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Hello, friends and relatives. My name is Whitney Rencountre II. I am one of the co-founders of the Social Distance Powwow, along with Dan Simons and Stephanie Abert. Social Distance Powwow is an online platform on Facebook with 300,000 plus members all across Canada, United States, and across the world. We started with an online virtual platform to bring the people together to allow for safe sharing of our songs, dances, and as well as the great artists and artisans across the world. As we continued forth, we partnered with many celebrations across the nation, Canada, United States, to host their powwows, their celebrations. We hosted a social distance powwow marketplace, and we hosted a continuum of relationships and partnerships with many different celebrations across the world. One of the things that we would like to do with the funds that we would earn if we win this competition is host the first social distance powwow in person in a huge metropolitan area, so that we can bring together all the artisans to share their vendors and their marketplace, their great gifts with the world, as well as all the great singers and dancers.
Great job.
Great.
So thank you very much for that pitch. I know Social Distance Powwow. I've seen it. How would you market that gathering?
We would market it on Social Distance Powwow. We would share posters. We would share it all across not only on Social Distance Powwow, but all across social media platforms. We would buy ads. We would just continue to partner with other, Indigenous networks, and as well as non-Native networks that would like what we're doing.
Amazing. Thank you. So very curious to hear with your social distance powwow, with things that are changing in the world and continuing to change, where do you see this going in about 5 years from now?
Well, we want to continue to have our annual celebration. This would be a kickoff celebration that we would have each and every year. It would continue to grow. We would invite more vendors, more singers and dancers, as well as Indigenous elders and youth. And we hope to maybe have a youth day component as well as a market, just to have a great celebration for Indigenous people.
Excellent pitch. Thanks for taking the time to do that, Whitney. Could you tell us more about the funding you've received today, how you're funding this at the moment, and how the money would from this help?
Yes, absolutely. So we would create a capital campaign, and this funds would help us, start that. Matter of fact, build upon what we've already, utilized. We have a fiscal sponsor, 7th Generation Fund for Indigenous Peoples, and so we have money in the account already prepared to use for this particular purpose. So we would then, continue forth working with our board of directors and our fiscal sponsor to, get to our goal and raise the funds that we need to have our celebration.
Awesome. Great job, Whitney.
Thank you.
In 2021, roughly 32,000 Indigenous students were attending post-secondary institutions across Canada. How many of those do you think were parents? We all know a parent and their child comes first. Name a barrier that they may have faced in pursuit of higher education. Do you have one in mind? Welcome to the Indigenous parents community. I'm founder Kelly Kristin, a single mother, dedicated employee, and driven student. Based on my journey through university, IPC has been created to knock down those colonial barriers that you thought of for those parents and provide leadership, mentorship, and networking opportunities. We've seen a 78% growth rate since our launch in fall of 2021 and growth in our board of directors. We ask you, Powwow Pitch, to help us take these parents further. We ask for the $25K, using $10K to open an endowment fund for a scholarship and the rest to fund paid lawyer time and board training. The next generation of professional Indigenous parent employees is here and ready to take on Turtle Island, and I, for one, can't wait. Thank you.
Woo! Great job.
That was excellent, Kelly. Absolutely. Take a deep breath. That was excellent. Really good. And you made it very clear the objectives of the organization, and it's very admirable. I also understand how you'll use the funds if you win that, and again, that's very good. Apart from the $25,000 that you could win, how does the organization grow and generate revenue going
Perfect.
forward?
Great question. We are just currently registering as a charitable not-for-profit organization, so we'll be able to accept donations and take on grants, as well as we have been going around to local not-for-profits and hosting in-person workshops where we get paid for it.
Excellent.
Great idea. Great job. I know the struggle. How do you reach your clientele?
Right now, we have been seeing lots of success through social media, my personal blogging website, B2B marketing strategy with local not-for-profits, and solid networking.
That's great. Thank you. What an awesome idea. Where do you hope that this will go and grow throughout Canada over the next coming years?
I envision IPC celebrating alongside its members in the community with their education and professional achievements, as well as opening planned social enterprises to work alongside NPC. We have reached people in Alberta and Ontario, as well as Manitoba as well. So it is working.
Excellent.
Excellent pitch. Great energy, Kelly. Could you tell us more about the team around you? You mentioned a board of directors. How are you growing the team?
I strategically built a board for IPC just by solidly networking for a year, by sitting on boards, joining women's leadership groups, and utilizing my support system around me, put in place by the university and my family. I was also able to meet a member from Futurepreneur Side Hustle program.
Tansei judges, my name is Jackie DeCoteau-Gill, and I am the founder and CEO of Cookham's Helper Society. While working at an inner city Indigenous housing facility, I saw the need for creating a safe space for our relatives crossing over into the spirit world. I established Cookham's Helper in 2021 in order to create the first culturally based end-of-life care center ran by Indigenous for Indigenous.
For the past year, I have been having great success creating relationships with various organizations in order to help the society move forward. This July, I had my first board meeting, opened in a good way with a pipe ceremony and a feast in order to be ran by Indigenous governance. I'm asking for the powwow pitch funds, for administrative fees for salaries for 3 integral positions, CEO, funding manager, finance manager, in order to propose granting from 3 levels of government in order to have a care center built for approximately $10 million in the city.
Great job. You kind of touched on it there at the end, but I was curious about the funding from other levels of government. This seems like the type of activity that might attract that kind. Can you maybe just run me through a little bit, like what types of funding you have in mind from those different levels?
Yeah, I actually have a meeting going to be set up with Alberta Health Services. So that's one. And then we funding through Alberta for housing is ran through Homeward Trust. So I'm looking to have a meeting with them. And then I had actually ran into a counselor at a pancake breakfast, and she let me know that there's land in the north where I would like it to be built, and there's room set aside for like truth and reconciliation. So I'm going to have a meeting with her also.
Great. So it sounds like you have a lot of leads already. That's good.
All right, that was a great presentation and very interesting and great work. You mentioned right at the end that you're going from basically a new organization to this desire for a $10 million building, which is amazing. Is there a plan to expand this outside of your area, and what would that look like?
Well, I actually have a 3-phase plan. In Edmonton, we have like the 2nd largest urban population, and I had worked at a housing facility for the hardest to house before. So we were kind of sent people from all around the province. Like lots of the nations have offices based out of here. So I'd like to have like an end-of-life care center because we only have 1 hospice in Edmonton. And then I would like land for cultural use because I know I've changed my life being culturally based. And then some people we ended up loving back to life. So I would like to have a tiny house village in order for those people to have a home and a community to steward the land and come back to the center, so it could all be like a self-sustaining community.
Excellent.
Love the loving back to life concept. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to take that away today and think about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And good luck, and I wish you all the best on your project.
Thank you so much. It's already going really well.
Tansei, I'm Leah Arcand, and I'm from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation. I'm a mother, teacher, and founder of the grassroots movement Save Res Dogs. Since August 2019, Save Res Dogs has been one of the top Indigenous female-led volunteer-run organizations focused on advocacy and improving animal welfare in First Nations communities. In our work, we use anti-oppressive education, animal rights resources, with a mix of res humor to spread our message to build community engagement. We started out as a hub for local community members, then it grew provincially, and now has spread out on a national level. We raise money through our merch line to fund consented frontline work to help rescue missions such as spay neuters, dog houses, and other emergency needs. To date, with around 15,000 followers on social media, we have shipped over 2,000 orders across Turtle Island and have been able to donate over 40,000 towards rescue missions that help community members. With this prize money, I would love to lease an office space or storefront for a year, provide scholarships for Indigenous students in the veterinarian field, hire an outreach team for presentations, register as a nonprofit, and launch a certified mobile spay and neuter clinic for honors or counties.
Woo! Great job.
That was great. You pretty much answered every question. But you mentioned something about send out orders. Other than you mentioned spay and neuter and the rescue dog. What is it that you sell? Is there some sort of merch that you're putting out there?
Everything you see behind me and like stuff that I'm wearing. So it started out as stickers, and then it's sort of my catalog has grew over 40 items. So I have items in my spare room and in my basement, so we're kind of on overload right now, but I sell like hats to bandanas to just apparel basically for everybody.
Excellent presentation. Love the mission for sure. But I have a question. You mentioned that you are not yet incorporated as a not-for-profit? You're going to be doing that? Are you a registered charity at the moment?
No, I'm not. I'm sort of like, it's grassroots movement. That's how I started it, just sort of see where this would go. But being registered is like my long-term goal, basically, because I can definitely see the need for it. Yeah. For this work.
Okay.
Great job. Great product. I love that. Save the Res Dogs in your logo. Overpopulation of dogs in our reserves is really, really a big problem. How did you create your relationships with rescues?
Facebook, social media. And when I was a teacher on a reserve, teaching a land-based program, and this is where it all started. And I've met veterinarians in the local town, and then I met one rescue who I still collaborate with, and then they added me to a Facebook group, and it just sort of blew up from there. So just networking through social media and using the hashtag #SaveResDogs. That's what really launched it all.
Excellent.
Awesome idea.
Excellent.
Great job.
Good job.
Tanshi, my name is Crystal. In 2010, a news article landed on my desk. Headline read, "Canada has the worst record for teaching national history." For 8 years, my educational charity, I Am Compelled, has empowered young actors to tour in schools, bringing history to life for the next generation. A combined 10,000 people have been inspired towards kindness and good deeds. Yet over 5 million students are enrolled in schools across Canada. With the funding, we will engage students from kindergarten to grade 8 in Inuit history and culture. Our team of 3 is ready to book flights to Pangerton, Nunavut for September to film, learn, and produce 3 stories that will be the bedrock for our first ever digital program. We will purchase a gaming platform, film equipment, as well as hire 2 hosts to facilitate the experience throughout the upcoming school year. All content will be repurposed for social media platforms. Together, let's make history.
Perfect.
Good job.
Oh gosh. No. Okay, that's good. I'm just sweating.
You got great energy, really good, and love the cause. Could you tell us a little bit about how you're marketing your services at the moment, how you're getting the word out, and how you're scaling your business?
Yep. So we to go into the school boards in Ontario specifically, you have to be approved by the school boards as a registered or an official charity. And so right now, TDSB has approved us as well as 5 others in Ontario. And then across the country, we have relationships that we've established for since 2014. So cold calling, posters, social media, all of that.
Great presentation, Crystal. Just a quick question. Do you, you're talking about doing some live shows in person and also some digital aspects. Is your plan to sort of monetize both of those, like to develop like a digital platform for, because my wife's a teacher actually, so would that be something that teachers would be able to purchase or school boards purchase as an online module to teach their kids?
So what we do go into the schools, but we can reach more schools and students because of COVID. So this would exclusively be online only.
Okay, thanks.
So let me just add, because my brain is a little bit nervous, but it's they can purchase it for a fee. And then because we're educational, we also want to provide a certain amount of schools to have it for free.
Have it for free. Okay. So what's the long-term funding structure if this is for free? How is this organization going to sustain itself?
We have a generous donor base that has been with us for the last 5 years. Some support us monthly, some support us in big lump sums at the end of the year, mostly businesses. And then we can also apply for grants and different funding opportunities, which we have never needed to.
Okay, excellent. Good job.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Okay, my name is Chase Comes at Night. I'm the founder and executive director of Innovated Indigenous Greens nonprofit organization. Our mission is to improve the quality of life across Indigenous communities by promoting wellness through a horticultural approach. Over the past 2 years, my communications director and I have devoted countless hours and invested hard work in developing an innovative solution that addresses the wellness crisis throughout Indian country. Our innovative solution takes the form of 5 initially designed horticulturally based services that improve the quality of life across Indigenous communities in the pursuit to promote wellness. If selected to win the $25,000, our organization will use 40% of the award to employ and hire our director positions to part-time to further our organization's effort, as well as secure additional funding. We will also use an additional 40% to purchase 10 aeroponic cultivation units to assist with promotion and organizational efforts.
Great job.
Chase. That was excellent. In 1 minute, that's amazing. So, quick questions. How many programs have you implemented in how many communities so far?
So far, we've developed five initial services. Right now, we're working on developing the Traditional Roots Initiative, one of our services here in the Blackfeet community. But due to timing of the seasons, due to harvesting, we were unfortunately unable to meet the expectation needed for the camp. We are working right now with the Missoula community to implement the Community Aqua Produce Program.
Okay, so that one is in place. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes.
Great job, great pitch, great idea. Food security is such a big issue. Congratulations. So where do you get your funding from so far?
So far, we've been fortunate to be selected for a grant based out of the Blackfeet area, as well as we've actually won a business competition through the Reservational Economic Summit that had secured $5,000 for us to begin furthering our efforts across Indian country.
Perfect.
And so we're taking opportunities in which we can present and begin to further not only our message, but additional funding.
Amazing. And Chase, thank you so much for giving such a clear update and pitch. So where would you like to see your company be in 5 years from now? We need more of what you're doing. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, we look to be within about 40% of Indian country Indigenous communities that are on and off reservations and reserves, so meaning in Canada as well as in the US. So we're looking to really develop a foundation within sovereignty, more specifically within food security.
Thank you.
10 seconds. Quick fire question. Could you tell us more about the team around you that are supporting you with this?
Yes, so far I've had 3 individuals that work alongside me. My communications director is known as Zachary Wagner. Currently, right now, he's based out of the Blackfeet area, raising a family. And myself, I'm currently pursuing my higher education.
Great job.
Great job. You did it.
Why can't Indigenous people just get over it? It's in the past. Well, we can't for one simple reason. Our past is also our present. We revere our elders and our ancestors, and the security of their knowledge is vulnerable. We are at a heightened risk for knowledge loss. Stephanie Francis, my business, Spirit First, includes one-on-one trauma counseling, group-based training, and community crisis management. Group-based training is where I have the most impact. By using traditional knowledge to guide us in trauma recovery, I've combined 30 years of experience in ceremony with my social work background and traditional knowledge to train others in tuwa'id si'in, edu optimum. I call this decolonizing trauma support. Last year, group work was 33% of my revenue. This year, it's tracking to 73%. Next year, I'll add train the trainer to push it to 80%. $25,000 will help replicate this across Turtle Island, including allies and newcomers, to create safer communities and supportive workplaces.
Wow, great job.
Well done.
Great job. Great pitch.
Classical, welcome.
very nice to see you from, I understand you're from Sedensis First Nation. My first question is what did you do last year in revenue for your company?
Ooh, last year was about 148,000.
Well done. Thank you.
Amazing. Wonderful. Can you tell us a bit more about where do you see your business in 5 years?
Ooh, well, I'm going to replicate this so I can do Train the Trainer, because there's only one of me. And this information needs to be spread across all of our nations. And understand it needs to go to Native and non-Native people too. And so I want to have Train the Trainer.
Amazing. Stephanie, how did you get started in this? Tell us about your background.
Well, I started out facilitating when I was a participant in Canada World Youth, learned how to do public speaking. And then from there, I went to go work at a transition house in Nova Scotia in Millbrook, the Mi'kmaq Family Healing Center. From there, I went to the prison system and facilitated many things there and volunteered. I was on crisis management teams, and then went to public or health administration. And I've just been doing frontline work since I was 18.
So do you have a support team?
Ooh, yes. I have access to a really cool network of woke and aligned people that are working towards being transformed, that are culturally responsive and are aware of this need, this information to be shared in communities.
How do you currently market your services?
Well, through social media and a website, but mostly through word of mouth. I have a network of at least 30 communities in the Atlantic region, and I know somebody in every community because of the work I did as a liaison.
Amazing.
So could you tell us what your website is called so we can find you?
www.indigenshop.ca, and it'll be under Spirit First Counseling and Consultant. So indigenshop.ca.
Amazing work, everyone. Congratulations to our semifinalists who pitched in the nonprofit category. Thank you for courageously sharing your passion, purpose, and vision with us all. You're making a difference through your work, and we're so proud of you and your work. Now is the time we've all been waiting for. The judges scored, deliberated, and selected the winner. This was an incredibly tight race, so the judges would also like to provide a few acknowledgements and recognize the entrepreneur who came in third place and the runner-up. The judges would like to acknowledge the important work of Kristin, founder of Indigenous Parents Community. Crystal Lavallee, founder of I Am Compelled and Chase Comes at Night, founder of Innovative Indigenous Greens. Coming in third place for the Powwow Pitch Nonprofit Semifinals is Stephanie Francis, founder of Spirit First Counseling and Consulting. The runner-up for the Powwow Pitch Nonprofit Semifinal is Leah Arcand, founder of Save Res Dogs. And the winner of the Powwow Pitch Nonprofit Semifinal, who is also taking home $1,000 tonight and is advancing to the finals, is Jackie DeCoteau-Gill, founder of Cookum Helper Society. Congratulations, Jackie, for moving on to the finals and winning the nonprofit category. Amazing work, Leah, Stephanie, Crystal, Chase, and Kelly. And well done to all of our nonprofit semifinalists. Remember, if your favorite entrepreneur didn't make it through, you can still vote for them to win for People's Choice Award. The entrepreneur that receives the most votes by September 19th will receive $1,000 and advance to the finals. Visit powwowpitch.org/vote to vote now. Thank you, judges, for your support, excellent questions, and for selecting the winner to move forward to the finals. Please share your final reflections.
Hi, I'm Cameron Gabor from RBC. I'm a Senior Commercial Account Manager specializing in not-for-profit and Indigenous banking. I want to thank every powwow pitcher for their pitch today. It was incredible. The work that you are doing on the not-for-profit side and for the for-profit side is incredible and an amazing gift to your community.
Chimigwech, on behalf of Meta, I'd like to thank Powwow Pitch, the amazing team, and all of the amazing Indigenous entrepreneurs in the nonprofit sector. It was so great to see so many dedicated people addressing everything from end-of-life care to saving dogs. And so I'm so happy that we have so many young and old people who are willing to do this on behalf of our communities. Thank you.
I would like to say a big chimigwech to all of the Indigenous entrepreneurs who took the time to participate in Powwow Pitch. I was so happy to be able to support this initiative through Build Native with Shopify. What an incredible amount of work that you're doing for community, on behalf of community. I can't wait to see all of the rest of where this will go. Miigwech.
A big thank you to the Powwow team for setting this up. A big thank you to the rest of the judges, and obviously, most importantly, the entrepreneurs. It's so great to see the passion, the personal experience being brought into the nonprofits that they're running. All the causes are amazing, and I can't wait to see the impact that they're going to drive, whether they win this competition or not. Thank you.
Congrats, everyone, on a great bunch of pitches today. On behalf of CIRA, well done. CIRA is a nonprofit, and so to see so many great nonprofit-oriented ideas being put forward to help your community, to help the entire community, it's really heartwarming and really great to see. So good luck and congratulations.
Thank you, judges. Thank you to our presenting sponsors, RBC, Shopify, Meta, and MasterCard. Our silver sponsors, the Business Development Bank of Canada, Canada Post, Export Development Canada, the Indigenous Tourism Association of Canada, Jelly Academy, NACA, and Futurepreneur. Our seed sponsors, MyTax, MNP, LLP, Sklar Wilton and Associates, Invest Ottawa, the Women Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, CIRA, Best Buy, Rakuten Advertising, and Tecumloop's Business and Economic Development. Our collaborating partners, Raven Reads, Native Love Notes, CFDC of CIFN, Indigenous Lift Collective, Entrepreneur, and Women in Business New Brunswick. Thank you to our mentors, volunteers, and judges for your support in bringing the 2022 Powwow Pitch online and across Turtle Island this evening. Thank you also to our executive producer, Victoria Lennox, and our creative producer, Cyprian Shelenkevich, for bringing our vision to life. A huge congratulations to tonight's entrepreneurs for their passionate and compelling pitches. Thank you to our viewers tonight for cheering on Indigenous entrepreneurs through Powwow Pitch. Let's keep the conversation going using the hashtag Powwow Pitch. Join us tomorrow evening for the youth category semifinals and each evening this week from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until tomorrow, I am your host, Sunshine Tanasco, signing off. Miigwech kbija eg nongom nakshig.